All right, what's up, Room 10? Today we're going to be talking about biomes. So it's a wonderful Wednesday. We're picking up on page 139. So while you guys are grabbing out your books, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we're going to be learning today. Now, by the end of today's lesson, you guys should be able to tell the difference between what a biome is and what the biosphere is. That's one of our big goals for today. And we'll also be able to tell that usually a climate has a little bit to do with where a biome is. Like the climate has an impact on that biome. But we're going to start off on page 139. So go ahead, grab out those science books, get to page 139 because we're going to start off talking about God and His awesomeness and His creation. So remember now thy Creator on page 139. Here we go. Read along with me. It says, imagine you're shivering in cold, wintry, or windy weather. You step through a door. Suddenly you feel as if you're in a tropical rainforest. The temperature is hot and it's humid. Tropical birds are freely flying and they nest among large tropical plants. This aviary or birdhouse is a common part of many modern zoos. Like if you've ever been to the Wild Animal Park down in San Diego, it's kind of like out there in the wild a little bit. It's not the San Diego Zoo, which is like downtown there, but the Wild Animal Park. If you go, there are aviaries you guys can walk into, and like you get like a little thing of nectar, like a little cup of nectar, and you go in, you walk through one door, and remember it's like don't open both doors at the same time. You got to close the door behind you before you open the next one. And then you do that and you go in there and then birds come and land on your finger and like drink out of the cup of that little nectar, that juice that you took in there. So that's pretty cool. Those are aviaries. But in this case, we're talking about like if you're in a cold area. Say you're in Nebraska and you know it's freezing during the winter time and you go in and it's climate controlled, it's warm. So visitors can enjoy seeing the birds in a setting that is similar to their natural environment. The building is made of glass and has artificial heat, so heaters that are actually keeping it warm. Systems in the building control the moisture in the air, the heat and the humidity make it feel like a tropical rainforest. By using technology, man is able, in a small way, to create just a tiny little part of God's wonderful creation. All right. Let's jump to page 140. Should look something like this. Without all this, but this. All right, sweet, let's keep rolling. Now, it said when God created the earth, He made many kinds of animals and plants. He knew exactly what each living thing needed and prepared the right living conditions for it. So just as there are many plants and animals, there are many places where they live. Scientists refer to all the areas where life can exist and the living organisms that live there as the biosphere. Remember, sphere is like round. It's in a ball, right? So the biosphere is the entire Earth. Get it? Sphere, Earth, round. All right. The biosphere is very large, though. A person could not study all of it. So scientists have divided it into sections called biomes. Now, a biome is a large area of the earth in which plants and animals share a similar environment. So a biome might be a desert, it might be a forest, a prairie, or even like the ocean, which would be a huge biome, right? These smaller sections are easier to study. Now, starting off with this section, we're talking about land biomes. So that doesn't mean the ocean, land biomes. Now, land biomes are influenced by their climate. The climate is the usual weather of a region over a long period of time. Climate includes the temperature and the amount of precipitation in an area. The climate of a biome determines what types of plants and animals live there. So yeah, if it's a warm climate, say Southern California, or maybe like up even in the high desert like Death Valley or whatever, you don't see polar bears rolling around because they would not survive, right? Animals and plants live in the areas where they can survive. They don't live in places where they can't live, unless they're like at a zoo. Like San Diego Zoo's got polar bears, but they also got freezing cold water and got a nice temperature down there in San Diego. Scientists, let's see. Scientists have divided the Earth's land into several major biomes. These land biomes can be very different. The tundra around the Arctic Circle is cold and frozen. But the tropical rainforests near the equator are very hot and humid. The northern hemisphere has more biomes than the southern hemisphere does. The main reason for this is that there's more land in the northern hemisphere. Also, most of the land in the southern hemisphere is in or near the tropics, so like near that equator, that middle line across the earth. Let's see. The northern hemisphere, however, has land stretching from the equator, so the middle of the planet, all the way up to the Arctic Circle. We have land in the northern hemisphere. This allows the northern hemisphere to have many, many biomes. Awesome. And then I'm going to kind of explain the biomes here in a second. So you guys can see here from this land biome map that was in your book. So the equator is kind of like right across this part, like right in there. So notice that dark green, that's rainforest because they have lots of humidity and lots of heat, and that creates a lot of evaporation and condensation and turns into rain. Yeah, awesome. I mean, look up here in Northern America where we're at. I mean, we have desert, we have prairies, we got mountains, we got grasslands, we got deciduous forest on this east coast right here, and then we got some deciduous forest and coniferous forest here on the west coast. Man, it's crazy, right? So, and then as you get up here further, it turns into a lot of coniferous forests. Oh yeah, that was a rainforest there in like Washington and Oregon right there. And then you get up here on the top, then you got that tundra. We got all kinds of tundra up that way. So I mean, the northern hemisphere has lots and lots of different types of our biomes there.